I'm Rhiannah. I grew up in a small town in Wendover, and then I came to Bristol to study geography, and I'm now in my final year. I grew up in a Christian household, but my teenage years, the church we were at was really small. There was no sort of youth bit, so it was really stagnant for my faith, really. So those years I didn't really, like, God and Jesus just didn't really get it. And there was a few of us who, it was sort of out there and we would hear about it, but we didn't really experience it or understand it. And then when I was about 17 or so, I went through a bit of like a down point in my life, and I was like, I'm not really sure what this is, but I started going to another church, and it was definitely like starting to understand it a bit more and actually realise, okay, this can make a bit more sense to me. But I would say it was only really when I started coming to uni and actually experiencing a bit more, like talking to people, it was more accessible, I guess. So that's when it, like, slowly over time, like, it started to actually make a lot more sense. And as I read my Bible more, I was like, okay, I can actually understand, and I realised what, like, God and Jesus is, and I was like, okay, let me actually try and have a conversation, like talk to God and realise He is in all aspects of my life. It's not just, once a week. So I would talk when I'm stressed or, with uni work and that sort of stuff, I would start to realise there is more to life than it, I guess. And that's when, like, actually God really helped me with all of that. Like, I don't have to be in control of everything, and I can just put my faith in Him. So when I was like a teenager, I struggled with a bit with like some mental health issues and anorexia. And at the time I felt really distant, but now when I look back on it, I can actually see that Jesus was really there in my life for me. And He was there, like, helping me, making sure there were people in my life that I needed. And, obviously only now in hindsight do I realise that, but like that's probably a pinnacle moment where I'm like, even when I feel like Jesus isn't there with me, He is. I want to get baptised now because I was thinking about it for a short time, and I was thinking, maybe I have to tick things off the list first, I need to do this. But actually, the more I started praying about it and thinking about it and reading the Bible about it, it's not about that at all. It's like as soon as I realised what God and Jesus means in my life and how I want to follow Him, then I should get baptised. And it's like a beginning of a journey, not an endpoint destination.